What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J. Cool.
My name is Namakao Mkelawai. I'm honored to be directing the program this evening. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinguished honor and privilege to invite Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, to give a toast statement. Mr. President, please.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Let me acknowledge our gracious guest, President Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana. As we used to be called Northern Rhodesia, they were called Bechuanaland. Names that were given to us by those who separated us, yet we are one people. Mr. President, your cabinet colleagues, senior officials are well recognized tonight, especially after a good day's work in the morning and afternoon. I also wish to recognize my cabinet colleagues that are present here tonight, and senior government officials, but importantly to remember those that came before us, the former vice presidents of the Republic of Zambia that are present tonight, and those who served this government, our government, those who may have served the government of Botswana who are present. I'm aware we have members of the diplomatic corps, but special recognition to the Botswana High Commissioner to Zambia and the Zambia High Commissioner to Botswana. The two are seated together over there, so we recognize you. There they are. And they've done a lot of work to bring us to this dinner tonight. I must also acknowledge the business community that are present amongst us, and it's important that when we gather in this manner, we ensure that our partners in our families or economies, Botswana, Zambia economy, the private sector are present at all times, because they are the ones who deliver the targets that we set as we seek to grow our economies, Botswana economy, Zambia economy. I must just give a brief or a summary, if I may say, of today's work. We had a fantastic engagement. President and his team, since he arrived in the morning, 9:10 in the morning, we have been engaged, and we did quite a lot of work. We took a business approach, and we love it, both of us love it, that our binational council or commission, which we have held first meeting today, which represents an upgrade to our relationship, bilateral relationship, Zambia, Botswana, Botswana-Zambia relationship, anchored on our desire, two countries, obviously, which will extend to others in the region, to deepen our partnership, people to people, business to business, and indeed government to government, and in some cases crisscrossing these segments into some projects, more projects. I wish to report to the people of Zambia, people of Botswana, my brother will do it, that through you who are gathered here and the media, that we were able to do justice to the business of today. We recognize the importance of us working together in the economic arena. Investments, trade, given what the world is becoming quickly, the fragility in the global community that we all know, it is important that neighbors, sisterly countries, Botswana and Zambia, work together even more and deeper and broader. And that's what this binational commission is intended to do, upgrading what we've been doing for many years back, since our independence, 1964, Botswana's independence, 1966. The forebearers, those that came before us, carved this path for us, and we continue to walk it. So I was talking about economic sphere, trade, investment. I'm talking about infrastructure in there. Our iconic Kazungula Bridge, fantastic asset, is more than a bridge. That asset is more than a bridge. It represents the bondage I'm talking about. It represents opening routes. Many of you may be young, some of you, I must say, there used to be a pontoon there, and we lost lives there. We lost motor vehicles, trucks there when the pontoon failed. So, but today, see what partnerships, strong partnerships can do. And we intend, through the Kazungula Bridge Authority, I think that's the name, to deepen the value around that asset, not just for motor vehicles to drive through, but we are looking at extending on that platform with a provision that was already made for a rail link, Botswana, Zambia, but extending also to our another sister country, Namibia. So a tripartite partnership, first contriving the two bilateral, then simultaneous, I must say, with Namibia. And these are sort of things we discussed and agreed to proceed with today. So we can take traffic off the roads, damaging our roads, heavy traffic, as we increase trade with each other, onto rail. We can drag more cargo, but also save our roads, give our roads longer lives, useful life, I'm talking of. So I'm just giving you a test of the things that we really have been up to. So you should ask a question, what were these fellows doing? But this is not an issue we have begun today. We have had what we coined between us, working visits. This president and his team took a working visit to Kasane, the Botswana side. Then Botswana took a working visit to Zambia in Livingstone. And so, plus the heritage work, the build-up. That's, I think, the way we intend to work. But this time round, we are placing emphasis on the economy, on business, investment, because it's that area that is going to create value to support other aspects of our relationship. Simple. Very simple, to me at least, to us. And I'm sure it should be the same to yourselves. And we do acknowledge each other's comparative advantage. Botswana has been in the diamond sector for a long time, have managed that resource in an organized way. We would like to piggyback on that and not reinvent the wheel on our emerald sector. And Minister of Mines knows what that means. I'm sure his counterpart knows what that means. I don't wish to take long because the President has been busy and his team, but it is clear in terms of what our intent is, how we take our relationship forward, the focal areas. I want to leave few areas for him, some areas for him to cover. But we acknowledge that as we drive the economic agenda for the benefits that we all know, jobs, business opportunities, treasury incomes, Botswana Treasury, Zambian Treasury, to support our population, children in school, the sick, the old, the retired, those that live with disabilities. We are conscious that we cannot do this without peace, security, stability. So we cover those issues as well. They are hand in glove. So I ask Zambians, you've heard me many times talk about peace, security, stability, that none of us want to export this instability or that sort of stuff to a neighbor. And if Botswana, Zambia are peaceful, we contribute to peace and stability in the SADC region, on the continent of Africa, and to the world. So, Mr. President, we're truly happy with you and your team, and we want also to congratulate you once more for assuming office through a democratic process. I want to thank you for that. He and I have been in opposition for a long time. It's difficult in opposition, but with clarity, clarity of intent, hard work, accommodation, willingness to take in partners, friends, fellow citizens. There is the president here. He's the first president of Botswana since independence to come from outside the Botswana. Botswana what? I was looking at Zambians to see if they follow the Botswana BDP, Botswana Democratic Party. He's the first president. So I think we need to clap for that. Mr. President, here, I'm the 7th president from 4 political parties. So you've done much better than us in this country. The achievement you've scored there is tremendous. We delivered the first change from one party to another in 1991. And since then, 4 parties have taken public office. And we've made these changes peaceably. No bloodletting. As Botswana has done. Democracy to support economic advancement. We must get used to these things. There shouldn't be sources of bloodletting, competition to serve better. Mr. President, I decided to say a few things around there because maybe a number of Zambians were not aware of the process you went through to get to be the president, visiting president tonight. Congratulations once more. So, with what I've said, I would like us to rise and take a toast. Before you shout cheers, just allow me 2 words or so. To a deepened, strengthened, fruitful partnership. Zambia, Botswana, Botswana, Zambia. To the success of our fellow citizens in Botswana, fellow human beings, citizens of SADC, Africa and the world, to the personal success of this president and your team as you work to better the lives of the people of Botswana and to good health. May I invite all of us to say cheers. Cheers. One more time. Cheers. 3rd time. Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Please remain upstanding, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain upstanding. I invite you all to please remain upstanding at attention for the national anthem of Botswana. Thank you. We may be seated. Mr. President, thank you very much for those remarks and also for your commitment to enhancing bilateral relations between our two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinguished honor and privilege once again to invite our visiting head of state, Advocate Duma Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana, to give a reciprocal toast statement. Your Excellency, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Let me gratefully acknowledge the President of the Republic of Zambia, my brother, President Hakainde Hichilema. Let me appreciate the presence here tonight of that awesome threesome that constitutes government. The judiciary is represented here, as I understood. The legislature is in the House. The executive, led by the inimitable President Hichilema, is here. Let me appreciate members of the diplomatic corps, all public officers, ministers from Botswana, and let me greet you, ladies and gentlemen, greet each and every one of you individually and personally, and thank you for being here with us today. Words are not adequate to describe the gratitude that we all feel in relation to the warm hospitality extended to us by the President of the Republic of Zambia, by all the ministers, public officers of the Republic of Zambia, and indeed by all the Zambian people. We are most humbled. Thank you very much. As befits my status as a visitor, a guest, my remarks will be brief. The President has spoken in his usual searing eloquence, described in hospitable detail the good work that was done today. And I stand to confirm and corroborate every word that he has uttered. And I thank him. It has been said, and I think with great truth, that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. And I remember, if you don't, that when I spoke at the summit of the African Union, I relied on the words of an African poet, David Diop, born of a Senegalese father and a Cameroonian mother, died young at the age of 33, 1960, in a plane crash. But he left us with a painful question that he presented in the lines of his poem. He asks in that poem, Africa, tell me, Africa, is this your back that is bent? This back that breaks under the weight of humiliation. This back trembling with red scars and saying yes to the whip under the midday sun. This is the devastating question that he asked before he passed in 1960. And since then, the African continent has been wrestling with this question. It is an existential question. Tell me, Africa, is this your back that is bent? And Martin Luther King says to us, folks can't ride your back unless your back is bent. The poet says, is this your back that is bent? Martin Luther says, folks can't ride your back unless your back is bent. So we've got to straighten up our backs, because when folks straighten up their backs, you know they're going some way. And so we were here today to begin to strengthen up the first few faltering steps in the direction of building a buoyant, a resilient, a united, a proud Africa. And so we met in Lusaka today to reaffirm, to deepen, to broaden a relationship between Botswana and Zambia. A relationship that must translate into concrete deliverables, that must transform the lives and livelihoods of the multitudes in our countries. A relationship that must serve as an exemplar for the rest of the continent. Call on the rest of Africa to straighten up our backs. And this relationship must endure. It must carry and sustain not just Botswana and Zambia. It must ripple far and wide and cover the rest of the African continent. And so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, let me humbly request you to straighten up your backs and rise to your feet. As I speak prophetic words to the African continent, we've got to straighten up our backs. Folks can't ride our backs unless our backs are bent. We've got to straighten up our backs. And so, to the straighten up of our backs as Africans, to the reassertion of our pride, our unity, a deepening of the ties that bind us, to the health and vitality of every son and daughter of the African soil. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand at attention for the national anthem of the Republic of Zambia. Thank you. We may be seated. President Boko, thank you very much for those remarks and for urging us, Zambians and Africans, to straighten our backs. Indeed, we'll do that with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will have dinner, and I will ask the ushers to assist with the protocols of inviting our guests to serve so that we have a seamless flow. And also the presidential table will be served on my right, as well as the visiting VIPs will also be served on my right. May I please ask the ushers to assist? And in the meantime, we will have entertainment from James Chamanyaza's band. Thank you.
Let me know what you think about this video. Thanks for tuning in to JQ News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on tech, politics, and everything in between. Until next time, stay cool.